What up? We be back, suckers. We're back at Miss Anime Reviews. I know we've been on hiatus for a while, but we're back, and we're coming back with a vengeance with a review of the anime King's Game. I know since we went on hiatus, there have been a lot of new anime that have come out, especially in the horror genre, which is of course something, if you know me, is something I'm really excited about. We have Angels of Death. We have some Magical Girl anime that have followed in the footsteps of Magical Girl Modica that have become even darker, like Magical Girl Raising Project and Magical Girl Sight. And we've also had, we've also had anime in other genres too that have been released, but I decided to choose King's Game as the comeback for Mr. Reviews because it's an anime where if you look online, you look up opinions on it, you have a lot of people that really hate this anime. They seriously dislike it. They think it's one of the worst things that was ever animated, that was ever subbed, that was ever dubbed. They think it's complete cancer. So of course, similar to my belief with School Days, I decided to take a look at this, especially since this is in the horror genre, and to see whether it's as bad as people said it was, or rather to see if there are any redeeming qualities about it, which, as you know, is one of the biggest things about Mr. Reviews, is that we look at an anime and we try to objectively see what it does good and what it does bad, and let you decide on what stance you want to take on it. So I guess the biggest question to ask ourselves is there any redeeming qualities, any things that you might be interested in King's Game? So without further ado, let's get started. King's Game was made by Studio 7. Between October and December 2017, making it a fall 2017 anime, it has 12 episodes, and it fits the supernatural, horror, mystery, and drama genres of anime. The story of King's Game revolves around new transfer student Nobuaki, and upon arriving to his new school, his classmates naturally want to try and get to know him and want to try and figure out who he is, but he's very distant towards them. And of course, this distance starts to end when he receives a text from someone named the King that orders him in order to perform a certain action with another classmate, and if him and that classmate don't perform that action, then they'll be punished. When he comes to school and they try to explain it to his classmates, they think that he just has a sick sense of humor and that he's joking. But then he explains to them that he had did the King's Game with his previous class, and if they don't perform the actions that are going to be sent by the King via text message, that they're all going to be punished. And then of course you have the believers and the non-believers, and the non-believers eventually start to get punished, and then the class starts to realize the true horror that is the King's Game. Now, if you're looking for a story with some common sense, unfortunately, you're not going to find it in King's Game. This show's going to go more the Mirai Nikki route because it takes the action in the story mostly takes place in the confines of the classroom. And I don't mean literally in the classroom. What I mean is the characters that are involved in the story are going to be the ones involved in the horror that's the King's Game. So you're not going to have any outside police forces. You're not going to have the parents or any friends or anyone outside of what's going on really finding out what's going on inside the game or delving into the mystery. So by doing that, the show kind of limits how far-reaching the consequences of the game are and hurts the common sense of the show. So if you're looking for a show with some deep thought, then you might as well look elsewhere. But you gotta remember, this is a horror anime. So considering the logic you can expect inside of a horror show, it's only gonna go so far. So, I mean, inside most horror movies you see, you have people that are running away from the terror, they end up tripping over their own feet. So when you consider the genre that you're in, you can, and the mystery tag might make you believe there's going to be a lot more thought going into things, but when you consider the genre, you can expect the common sense to only go but so high. So the story, in any other case, wouldn't work common sense wise, but when it comes to the horror genre, then this might be something that you're looking for, because the common sense and logic you expect from most shows, you can kind of put that to the side when you're looking at this show. Most of the characters in the show are just fodder for the King's Game, but a few of them actually add to the plot and help move things along. And who are these characters, you may ask? Nobuaki, the protag with the heart of gold and the eyes full of tears. Natsuko, the survivor. Chimi, the protag sweet and kind girlfriend. Naoya, the morality pet for the already morality pet of a protagonist. Ria, one of Rei from Evangelion's clone's long lost cousin. And Kenta, the large linebacker knight of justice. If characterization is something you're looking for, then this is not going to be a show you're going to want to look at the time, because the show has most of the characters responding to the events that are happening inside the King's Game. So you're going to get a lot of cardboard cutout characters, and it's not going to delve that deeply into their backstory, only in their backstory in relation to the King's Game and them trying to survive this horrific event. But again, if you're looking for a horror anime, you can just sit there and just look at all the horrifying stuff that's happened to the characters and seeing how they react to the situation and how they fight to survive, then this is going to be a show you're going to want to see. Again, looking for strong characterization, not going to find it here, but if you're looking for something that appeals to the horror genre concerning its characterization, then you won't mind that. King's Game is a serial anime, so we're going to give it a fine dining seal. However, there's something special about the pacing in King's Game that I think a lot of shows could honestly learn from. To correct the plague of the slow build-up making most people drop anime early, King's Game has its present timeline story building while with flashbacks to the climatic moments of a previous King's Game. This approach not only keeps the anime entertaining throughout, but also provides breadcrumbs so the mystery reveals in the anime don't come from nowhere. Now, I've heard many complaints about the animation side of King's Game, but I mostly contribute this to the school days effect. You know, that thing where what happens in a show is very much different than people's expectations, so it kind of douses their opinion concerning other things about the show, but we'll get into that another time. The money on the animation clearly wasn't spent on One Punch Man or Unlimited Blade Works levels, but it still adequately gets the job done. So if you're a super art connoisseur and you're looking for something that has a super blown out like animation budget, something along the lines of Guilty Crown or something like Gundam Unicorn, then this is not going to be a show you're going to look at. But if animation is super spectacular, animation isn't that big of a deal, if you're just looking for something that just shows some horrifying events and shows the people in the events going through it, then the animation suffice to assist with that. The ending theme to the song was sung by Pyle, and I had no issues with it, even though compared to the rock and opening, I thought that the ending theme was kind of dull, the visuals were kind of lackluster, they were kind of stale, and then you have the music to go with it. But then again, it kind of fit you could consider it fitting because you had the rocking opening in order to get you riled up, and then you had that ending song in order to mellow things out. And also, a nice little fun fact is the voice actress that does the ending theme, Pyle, she's also the same person that does the voice for Ria in the Japanese sub. The opening and ending theme aside, I thought that the music did a great job of complementing the anime. It wasn't spectacular, but the way the music atmosphere is in a horror anime, and anything horror period, is always very important. And you're going to have somber pianos during the sad moments, and then things are going to heighten up with a piano during the dramatic moments. So the anime mostly uses pianos for background music in order to set the tone and the tension, and then during some themes, during some moments when appropriate, you're not going to have any music at all. Are you ready for crossroads time? You want it, we show it. It's time to pick a side, time to decide where this show lives or dies. Thumbs up, thumbs down, but please don't frown, for we're at the crossroads. You will love this anime, or at least feel like looking at it at the time if you're looking for these elements. This is a mature anime, meaning if you're looking for something that's going to have some blood, something that's going to have some profanity, something that's going to have adult situations in it, then this is going to be a show you're going to want to see, because of course this is the King's Game. You have text messages being sent to people and them forced to do things of course they don't want to do, and if they don't do that, then some mystical force is going to punish them in horrific ways. So if you're looking for a mature show, then you'll definitely want to take a look at this one. Tired of shonen tropes where the hero always rides off into the sunset and you always have the chicks that are begging to be by the hero's side, and he always saves the day and knows how to respond to every situation, everything goes fine and dandy as long as you and your tears are phoenix downs, you got that power of friendship, then look no further than King's Game. If you're looking for a show that is the exact opposite of what you expect from a shonen, that will go past your expectations, will definitely surprise you, then this is a show you'll want to take a look at. Also, if you're a fan of horror, and not necessarily just horror anime, but horror period, where you're used to characters being horrific situations and you have your few brains and mostly your dumb sheep, and a lot of them make pretty bad decisions, but it's nevertheless entertaining to see the characters in a terrifying situation, seeing how they'll come out of it without superpowers or mind-breaking abilities, then this is going to be a show you're going to want to look at. Again, King's Game is a show that it felt like it was a true shout out to the horror genre, something like Corpse Party, where you could take a horror movie and animate it, and that will basically be King's Game. So if you're looking for a good shout out to the horror genre, you'll want to look here. On the other side of the coin, you will hate this anime or definitely not feel like looking at it at the time, more like bearing it and stomping on it if you don't want to see these elements. There are a lot of strong sexual themes inside of this anime. If you don't want to see that, then you definitely want to look elsewhere. I mean, come on, you have a character called a king who's sending texts to a bunch of high schoolers and making them do stuff that they don't want to do. And considering also that Studio 7 is known for making a lot of hentai, then you can kind of use your imagination and guess where this is going. So if you don't want to see very strong sexual themes, you want to see something a bit more tame, then you don't want to take a look at this show. Without delving too deep here, this show does have aspects of rape in it on both sides of the spectrum. So if you don't want to see a show that hints toward rape inside the series, then you definitely do not want to take a look at King's Game. Also, because this is a horror anime, you can expect some very strong gore, and a very emphasis on that strong gore part. I mean, I'm talking here Hellsing levels, Another levels, and yeah, those type of levels of gore inside of your show, and Higurashi at its height levels of gore. So mostly throughout the entire show. So if you don't want to see gore, body parts being ripped from characters, blood all over the place, characters dying in horrific ways, then you don't want to take a look at this show. And last but not least, if you don't want a side couple tragedy inside of your anime, then you definitely will not want to take a look at this show, or at least view it at the time. And when I'm talking about tragedy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about Attack on Titan or Code Geass levels of tragedy. Those shows are known for being pretty tragic, but you still know that some of your characters are going to be safe. No, I'm talking Akame ga Kill and Magical Girl Raising Project levels of tragedy here. So if you don't want to accidentally fall in love with the character, think they're kind and great, and then see them butchered in horrific ways, then you definitely will not want to take a look at this anime. King's Game, known as a Samba game in Japanese, is available for dub and sub online. You can find it for legal online streaming on Crunchyroll.com and also on Netflix. And it's also licensed by Funimation, so you should be able to buy some DVDs from them. So, thank you for taking a look at our review today for King's Game from Mr. Reviews. If you like what you saw, you want to see more, please leave a like and also subscribe down below. And we're back, and we're going to try and come back strong. So if you want to see more, then stay tuned at Mr. Reviews, and thank you for looking at our review today. Take care, bye.